Hi everyone, welcome to the future. If this is your first time to String Live, it's a weekly conversation and one theory and one thought. So today's conversation is about why you should follow your curiosity to create, especially in this particular time. We're all under lockdown and this is unusual times. So I'm just going to ask this first question. How are you really feeling? Like, how are you coping under COVID-19? Are you feeling okay? Like for me personally, I've been feeling restless. I've been waking up at 3 a.m. every night. So I've been having broken sleeps, and I think it is because of what's going on right now. Maybe because I'm consuming too much news and it's freaking me out, but also just because I know that there's some kind of anxiety that's happening within me right now. I've been taking yoga and meditation every day to cope, and I've been listening to my friend Philippe about how to meditate, and I realized having those breathing exercises really helps me digest and acknowledge what's going on in the world. Instead of ignoring it, it's just me accepting what's happening and also dealing with it, because I'm still working and I'm still creating every day. So I'm thinking of ways of dealing with anxiety, but also acknowledging it as well. So how are you coping? So I feel one of the things that I've realized is that live streaming is not accessible for everyone at the moment, but I feel like I want to do this as a way to create and also document what's happening around the world, because the pandemic, COVID-19, is really unusual, and I don't think we're going to have this moment again in time. I noticed when I was watching a lot of documentaries in the Great Depression and how businesses deal with it, and I realized that a lot of people either stop completely or they double down on stuff, or they be working in their business instead of on their business. And for me, creating is my way of therapy. And I realized that for me to cope with this situation, I'm just going to create. And for me, that's just my way of dealing with it. So I wonder, what are you doing right now to cope with the situation? Usually I typically see my family, but I'm not. So I'm just having a lot of FaceTime, but I feel like there's still a bit of disconnect because I can't hug them. I can't see them. And I'm used to having weekly dinners with them. And I really miss those moments. So I'll probably so what I want to talk about specifically is that this is probably also the best time to create. Being that I feel like a lot of times I've been jumping on calls and fear, a lot of people, I feel like that a lot of people are scared of creating, whether it be scared of fear of judgment, fear of being getting critiqued. What's stopping you from creating content now? You have years of knowledge in your head, and this is actually the best time to archive your knowledge, but also think about what is happening around the world and how you could add value back to your community as well. So one person I was reading on LinkedIn was this is for experts. Create content and teach what you know, what you see, what's going on. And creating content is also a great way of upskilling your communication skills as well. So if you're a leader, you're an expert, if you do panels, you should start creating content as a way for you to communicate better. And it's also communication is a soft skill, super underrated, but we use it every day. And creating content forces you to communicate succinctly and properly as well. So it's ironic because I was pretty nervous getting live into just doing this. Even I have moments where it's oh, am I prepared for this? Am I ready to share what I have to say? Do I know what I have to say? And I realize when it comes to the subject matter of content creation and doing things on LinkedIn, I know my stuff. So I want to just share those knowledge and also share tactics that you could use and apply into your stuff as well. So what are you doing right now that is adding value to your community? Are you creating? Are you on, like, have you been writing? Are you making videos? A lot of people has, like, in the last 2 days, 10 people have asked me to have access to LinkedIn Live. And I'm thinking, it's true, like LinkedIn Live seems awesome, but I have to tell you the truth that it actually diminishes your reach in many ways, because not everyone is mentally prepared, because everyone's been trained to consume short bite content, because the way LinkedIn works, it's all about the feed experience. So when it's the feed experience, it means like you have to play the game of making it consumable on social as well. So whereas like podcasting, you need, or YouTube, you could allow to lean back and take the time to digest the conversations. So LinkedIn Live is a bit of a paradox, because like not everyone is mentally prepared to stop and give you that 20 minutes or 30 minutes or 1 hour of those conversations. So kudos to like Joe Rogan, who has 3 hours conversation, but he has built a massive following and he rocks up with awesome conversations with these amazing minds. And that's the thing about live streams. Like I notice like people just want to have access to live stream, but really like it's a show. You should treat it like a show. You should rock up and add value, because like what it is, like you have to have a bit of a format to say like, oh, this is what I will expect when I tune in to a live stream or to one of String's live shows. So whatever you do, there's a reason why people tune in, and you don't stop with one. Like with any content that you do for the first time, you just have to keep going, because like not everyone is familiar with your format. And I have to say, like if it's your first time, the first 3 months is you just vomiting out all your knowledge, or what's happening in your heart, what's happening in your stomach, vomiting out all your knowledge, because you don't know what works. And so you should spend the time developing your style, developing and finding your voice, thinking about like who your audience is, like what's resonating. And when you get through the vomit stage, like you realize you have enough data to see what works and doesn't work. So I think it's really important that you just use this time to experiment. When I first started out, like I realized that being a social media producer, content creator did not exist 10 years ago. And like I went and did my first live stream and no one tuned in. Maybe one person, but it's only like after like doing 5 streams did one person tune in. And then I kept on rocking up every day, showing value, talking about what's going on in technology, what's going on in marketing, and talking about how to like use LinkedIn, Meerkat, or that live stream platform specifically. And I noticed that one person became 10 people, and then 10 people became 100 people. And then I was able to gain 44,000 followers by just doing 3 things: creating content, adding value, being aware about who my audience is as well. So I created content for my audience, and by doing that, I created a channel. And when you first start out, like you don't have all these things. So it's important that you become authentic and use it as a way to like build up your skills and communicate better as well. So I just think that like I'm thankful that I was able to become a content creator, a professional content creator, one that I realized that a lot of like experts, when I talk to experts, is like they're losing their knowledge by not documenting and creating the content. All their knowledge is being lost just because like they do their work. But there's something therapeutic about like, and you know, it's also like a little win when you just create. So I'm just want to have a bit of pause, because the bad thing about LinkedIn Live, and I'm really frank about these things as well, is that you need a second screen to read comments and stuff. So if I'm rambling on, it's just because that part of like, if you're doing just like a one to you conversation, it's really important that that you keep talking, because people don't like pauses. And if you want to do live streams, like you don't wait for LinkedIn or have access to LinkedIn Live just because you don't have access to LinkedIn. Like you can use YouTube, you can use Facebook Live, you can use Instagram Live. Like there's so many live tools out there that you shouldn't stop creating. And anyway, most of the times I notice that like LinkedIn Live actually diminishes your reach, ironically. That's because like I just started out. So it's going to take time for people to realize like this is a weekly thing or like something for people to tune in. And I think it's really important as well that when you create, like you just have to be super consistent. And again, just follow your curiosity. Like that's what I did when I create content. I experimented, I followed my curiosity, I found my voice. And this is like the opportunity for you to like find your voice as well. Again, like just going back, if you have to go on live, like train yourself, because LinkedIn Live is like a tool that you could leverage, but you can use Instagram Live, YouTube Live, and cut those moments and cut those videos out and upload them onto LinkedIn and then push it back into wherever your stream is. So don't stop and wait for LinkedIn Live. Just create content, like create a Facebook group and show your expertise and so show your knowledge, add value by doing Facebook Lives inside that Facebook group. Use Instagram Live, use like YouTube Live, like don't like a lot of people have been asking me for access to LinkedIn Live, but I feel like they're waiting, and waiting is just an excuse for not creating. So I really think it's important, again, that you take the time to use this time to create and amplify your voice, to experiment, to follow your curiosity, what's going on in the world. Like I feel like there's so much opportunity right now in terms of like how to like improve your business, improve your communication. Think about like who you are as a person and what you're doing. And if you need permission to create, I'm going to give it to you. Like I feel like a lot of times when I have to talk to people, it's like they're waiting for someone to give them the opportunity to create. But this is the opportunity now. Like give yourself the permission to create and think about things. And when it takes a while, like it's like meditation. Like I still struggle with meditation every day because sometimes I could do it for 10 minutes. Sometimes I stop within 1 minute because I wasn't focused enough. It's the same thing again with creating content. It takes a while for you to understand your voice, your tone, if writing is your style, if video is your thing. Like use this time again to like experiment and follow your curiosity. And I think that like it's unusual situations, but we have to make the most of it, right? Like there's no point, like I understand that people are dying right now, and one way of flattening the death fertility rate is by pretty much like staying home and having physical distancing. And I think, when we're at home, we're going to go stir crazy. So like you could either like be productive or like do something, but you don't have to be productive either. You could just create and make that a win. So I hope like everyone is like enjoying and not enjoying, but it's okay to feel those moments as well. So I look forward to like, I'm waiting for like, I'm going to pause a little bit because like, I just want to read the comments that people are sharing, and I can't seem to do that. That's one thing that LinkedIn needs to improve on, is definitely add somehow to the comments, because part of the live stream is like the conversation that happens with the audience and people who watch as well. And I don't seem to have that at the moment. But reach out to me if you want to like learn how to think about how to use LinkedIn and how to like create content. There's so many resources out there, like it could be overwhelming, and that's what I realize. But again, don't overthink, just make. There's 41 comments so far, and I appreciate for people who tune in and stuff. That's pretty funny. I just appreciate you for tuning in, and I think just acknowledge what's going on, and acknowledge that it's okay to feel overwhelmed, but also for others who feel like this is an opportunity to be yourself more. Because I think now that we have more time for ourselves, but if you're a parent, more time with family, this is actually the time to think about what you really care about and what are the things that you think about. Like, do you even like your job, or do you want to like improve your skills so then you could find jobs that align with your values? Like life is too short to focus on the shit things and keep on like maintaining the like, you know, like the more aligned you are with your values and with your purpose in life, the more you find that COVID-19 is just one of the speed bumps that happens in life. And like your values and your what you are meant to do right now or today and tomorrow is going to be the same regardless of what speed humps that comes your way. So I see you again next week, because what I usually do is like I typically read comments, but I can't seem to read them right now because the way that LinkedIn works. But I'm looking forward to like seeing what people have to say. And I also think it's worthwhile that you should do 3 things on your LinkedIn. Update your headline let me do my call to action again. Follow me if you like these conversations and think they're worthwhile. The next one, I'm going to have another conversation about what's happening and one theory, one thought, and just have a conversation. Typically, I rather have conversations. And if you're interested in joining my Facebook group, where like there are all of these awesome experts and business owners coming together to learn how to market it better and use it to way to like build their business as well. So like I look forward to like seeing you next week.